Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. 3 patients in this compilation video. Now, first patient here, this is one of our regular patients. Now, you have seen this particular ear canal on YouTube before. Now, this patient comes through about every 3 months. Basically, what they get is a really hardened skin layer. So basically, keratin that forms inside the ear canal. Now, we talked about the ear canal movement. I was going to St. Bart's hook in here a minute, just because this is tough as old boots. And it does not want to come away easily. Sometimes we can get the St. Bart's hook behind it and it will pull the whole plug out really easily. It's not going to happen in this case though, unfortunately. So it gives me a bit of time to explain what's going on in here. So basically, normally we talked about the skin migrating out like a little conveyor belt from the center of the eardrum outwards, forms the canal wall skin, moves to the lateral portion of the ear canal to the outermost part. Now what's happening in this particular case is that it's starting to harden really quickly. So we've ended up with this sort of keratinous layer that sits over the top of the ear canal wall skin, but then those layers, rather than migrating out, they sort of form outwards. So instead of a conveyor belt motion, basically it just, imagine layer and then layer and then layer, a bit like the skin forms everywhere else on the body. So that when the top layer comes off, the next layer below it. In this case, when the top layer comes off, it forms a keratin layer. So imagine it like a hardened up skin layer over parts of your body, and then there's another layer underneath and another layer under that. That's what's happening here. So we're having to use the crocodile forceps to pull this out. And the reason being, the St. Bart's hook didn't really work very well and the suction tube didn't work very well, is because we're talking about these layers being attached to the layer underneath and then the layer under that. So this wants to hold in that ear canal wall really, really well. It does not want to come away. So we've got to get a really good grip, which is what you can see here. And we do get that grip. We've got to perform these sort of circular motions here just to free up that keratin from the rest of the canal wall. And when we do that, what's going to happen then is we're going to be able to pull this plug out. Now, in fairness, I've seen this chap quite a few times now, and normally we get this plug out in one. The whole thing comes out and it is like a perfect cast of the ear canal itself. In this case today though, it's just holding on just a little bit more and it wants to break away in little pieces. Actually, this gent normally comes through, like I said, about every 3 months. It's got a month or 2 over this time just because of circumstance he couldn't get in, which means it's just a little bit drier. But you can see these layers, almost like little cornflakes coming out. Yeah, do it, spell something. Almost like little cornflakes coming out of the ear canals. But you can see it's breaking away. But look, as we pull that, it's pulling the next section forwards, which is great. But what we're looking for here is I'm looking for resistance. That's when I know I've got hold of the main plug. So when I hold on here, look at this now. There, did you see that the actual crocodile forceps just pulled, rather than pull the plug out, what it's done is it's kind of held, the plug's held in, it's just broken the front layer off. So I know now I'm working on the main bulk of the plug. Now, we talked about this keratin layer being everywhere. It's also going to be down over the eardrum as well. So we can't be too gung-ho with this. So we're going to have to do little gentle motions here. You can see that skin layer, that fresher skin underneath. You're going to see that in far more detail in a minute because we've got a layer over the eardrum we have to remove as well. So let's take a look at this now. I think we've got the main plug here. I'm just going to try and work some of this out to out of the ear canal, because at the moment I'm struggling. I'm just inside the canal and it's difficult to get a good old grip on a big plug. So if I can pull some of this towards the outer part of the ear canal, I can get a better grip of the crocodile forceps. But look at this coming away. Look, 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 look. What's that? So the plug is starting to come now. So we've got the plug now. If we can get a really good chunky grip, which is what we've got there, so a nice big piece of that skin. Look at this coming away now, guys. This is huge. Just to give you some idea, this plug is actually 2.5 centimeters long. So pretty much the full length of the ear canal. Well, look at that. That is all hard skin. I mixed in with a little bit of wax. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. I'm gonna have to clear my throat in a second. But you can see now that's come away. But look how it would come off the eardrum. You can see where that's actually folded off the top, the pars flaccid. It's folded down into the actual canal itself. So I'm going to stick with the crocodile forceps here. Let's see if we can get a good old grip on this section. Now it is quite dry, okay, so you can see here, I want to try, because it's quite hard, I'm hoping I can get a hold of it, and when I've got a hold, I can pull and it'll peel the whole thing down. But what we can see here is it's not only holding onto the actual eardrum itself, it's down in the anterior recess as well. Interesting, when you actually pull this layer down, what you'll see beyond are these little sort of white skin layers that look a lot softer. Now that's the layer underneath, and that's what's sort of sitting on top of the fresher skin, if you like, but it's just peeling away in little pieces at the moment. Don't forget, guys, stay tuned for the second and third patients in this compilation as well. And if you are enjoying this video, you can always like, follow, share, subscribe, heart, do all those things for me. And if you're suffering with ear problems yourself, you can always take a look at the channel page or in the bio, and what we will have in there is a link to our website and our contact details. So if you're suffering with your ears, book yourself in and come along and see myself or the lovely Mr. Taylor Green, and we'll get that sorted out for you. We talked about that layer. Look how that peels down. You can see those whiter lifts of skin beyond that initial keratinous hard layer that's over the top of the eardrum there. So we're just pulling this down now. Now I've folded it forwards enough to be able to try and get the forceps on here. Now, we couldn't do this earlier because it was just too firmly attached to the skin and sitting too flat to the eardrum. So it just did not want to budge. But now we fold it forwards. Look at that peeling away. You can see that lift of our lighter white skin almost underneath there. So it's taken that away. There we go, off that comes. And then we're going to take a look beyond. Now we can see we've got this layer. Now, unfortunately for us, I was hoping the whole thing was going to peel right the way around. But what we've got here is this layer, excuse me, which is sitting in the anterior recess. So it's really down deep inside that canal. But what I don't want to do here, because it's such a thin layer, it's going to be brittle now. So what we're going to have to do, we can't just hold on to an edge and pull, because what's going to happen is it's going to run the risk of shearing away, splitting in half, and then we're going to have a hard piece that's sitting right on the skin and down in the recess, which is going to be an absolute nightmare to try and remove. Now you can see just above that layer, see how there's flexion just above it? That's white skin material that's still attached to the eardrum. So what I'm trying to do here is bunch it all together. If I can fold up both sides and bunch it in the middle, what that's going to mean is that I can, when I do get a grip down, I can pull the whole thing out. But you can see that dead skin that's coming off the eardrum as well. Now, patient not feeling any discomfort at all at this point. Don't forget, this is dead skin. I'm having to detach here from the top. Watch now. There we go. I had to detach it from that lift of skin on the eardrum as well. So I've popped a little bit of olive oil in here just to help things along a little bit. So you can see this is really starting to lift now. There we go. Let's grab the other side. Let's give this a bit of a gentle maneuver. There we go. Ooh, nearly. So we're just holding on. You can see that fresher skin underneath holding on to it. There we go. Now we're getting the lift we wanted. We can see a nice clean peel. Up we go. You can actually see it peeling off the drum as well, some of that dead skin behind. So you can see how firmly attached it just does not want to let go to of the skin underneath. Excuse me again, sorry, I got a really bad frog in my throat today. So it's coming away really, really well. Let's lift off from the side here. There we go. You can see that layer and then that white layer that forms underneath as well. But this is coming away really, really well. So you can imagine this forms a really, really good blockage as far as the hearing is concerned, because it's going to be attached to the canal wall and the skin as well underneath. You can see how it lifts. Look at that. Do you see what I mean? How it comes away there? Eardrum looking a heck of a lot better there. Just see, I could see a little bit, just take out some of the olive oil basically on the outside edge. Eardrum looking so much better on that one as well. Yeah, patient hearing so much better. Now, oh my goodness me, 4.5 centimeters, 1 3/4 inches, it's 2.5 centimeters. Oh, that first plug. Somebody's going to be screaming at the device, whatever you're watching this on. Why not put the olive oil in to start with? Very good question. Experience with this particular patient. The olive oil, when you put it in, doesn't penetrate into this wax at all, all right? The skin, sorry. What happens is it's so hardened up at the entrance to the canal, it just sits on the surface, just obscures your view and just causes more problems, if I'm being perfectly honest. What I always tend to find works better is working the plug out. It normally comes out as one big plug, and if you've got any tidying up to do, put the olive oil in at that point. It does really make a big difference. So we can see very different now. We've got this very soft looking earwax coming through here. So we're just lifting from the side. There we go. You can see bunching all the softer stuff up first of all, and then we've got a grip on this much harder section here. So just pulling this forwards, out this is coming. You've broken the first section off there, so quite soft. The reason it's so soft is this patient has been using some olive oil. Olive oil works great on wax, not so good on skin, especially when it's really hardened up like the last patient as well, but it's coming away really, really well. Now this is a lovely, I remember this patient now, lovely lady case. I got to this point, you'll see all the skin get sucked up and you get this piece. As I took that away from the patient, it fell off. The patient was wearing a turtleneck and it fell down his inside the turtleneck, we couldn't find it. So yeah, patients walk around with a big blob of wax stuck down their turtleneck somewhere. But looking so much better on there. You can see the eardrum looking lovely and healthy. Second ear canal here, we're just going to take this away, very, very soft material on this side as well. Slightly narrower portion of the ear canal, this one. So what's happened is the ear canal starts like this and then twists and narrows very quickly. So we've got a sort of soft wax at the entrance. This is what the oils come into contact with, so it's helped to soften all this up. And then we've got this much, much harder wax sitting behind it here. So we're just going to lift this. There we go. It's coming away nicely. Nearly there. Oh, just sort of taking away the softer material on the outside edge. Now we can start to see that plug moving here. Now the plug is formed in this narrower section, so it's probably going to be narrow but long. So we're just taking this plug forwards. There we go, just trying to maintain a grip. What we've got a grip on there is a little bit of skin that's sitting just behind the plug, so it's actually pulling this forwards with it. But it's coming away really, really nicely. Oh, nearly. Let's get this section. It is on its way. Don't forget, guys, there is one more patient after this one, so stay tuned for this one and the next one as well. I know the diehards and I know I haven't got to tell you to keep watching, but it might be somebody's first time. They don't know we keep doing them after the first couple. So what we've got here is a little bit of, oh, you can see the eardrum there, but we've got a little bit of just tidy up to around this outside edge here. There we go, just get rid of those bits, a little soft squishy bit as well. Does that want to come away? Is it ready? There we are. With these tiny little pieces like this, you're always weighing up, can I get it away? Or is it going to cause the patient discomfort if I try and get it away? Is it going to make any difference to their hearing? No, it's not. So what we'll do is we'll tidy up what comes away easily, basically, when it gets to those kind of layers. There we are. So this is one of the plugs we removed. So we've got, what's that, 1 centimetre. Remember I lost the other plug, it went down inside the top. I guess it's just a ½ inch. It's probably not, but it is today. So here we are, so we can see a very, very thick plug. We've got one more patient coming up, and this is that patient here. So what have we got in this one? Oh, we've got a very, very deep, what looks like skin to me rather than wax here. Layer in this ear canal. Let's try and lift this. This looks like it's right down on top of the eardrum, this one. This is the fine end on here. The reason I'm going for fine end straight away here is because with the standard size ulnar tube, sometimes if you've got a piece of skin that's formed on this arc, the standard size ulnar tube just can't get the grip on there. It doesn't always work. So I'm using the fine end to make it a little bit easier to get the grip. And I want to try and pull this away from that eardrum before we really start sort of working on it. I'm looking around the outside edge here just to probe this skin, just to see if we've got any looser sections. There we go. Look at that. As we pull down, I just saw a little movement like this as it come down. There we go. So we've got another layer coming away. So this is going to come away in installments, but this patient really, really struggling with their hearing, and understandably so. Everything is so deep in there. It just doesn't want to come away easily. So we're just going to grip this bottom section. Is that good? Oh, yeah, you saw that whole movement there. So this is one piece now. So what we're going to have to do is try and free up this, like an edge somewhere. Now, don't forget, waxing skin doesn't get this deep naturally, right? Naughty, naughty person. Let's be using some cotton buds in here, some Q-tips as well, which just makes our life just so much harder. We've got this huge piece that's sort of concave. It's just sort of really pushed back in the middle. Really difficult to get hold of, but we've got it out. Of course we did. Out. This is starting to come. So now we can get a good grip here. If we get the forceps on this one, I think the whole thing's going to come out. So let's grab this leading edge with a forceps. Let's give this a bit of a pull. There we go. Nice and gently does it though. We go too quick, this tends to be really brittle. It's going to break off really easily, but it's coming away really, really well. There we go. Out that comes. Look at that go in. There we are, and you can see that sort of layer, and there was even a bit of skin attached to the back end, but look how squeaky clean that eardrum is now. Lovely and healthy, much, much better on that one. So this is what we removed, 1.5 centimeters, I'm going to call that one, no it's not, 1/2 inch is what that is. Don't forget guys, if you do enjoy the videos, like, share, subscribe, follow, heart. If you've got problems with your ears, check out the link in the bio or the channel page. That's got a link to our website. It's also got the contact details. Come and see the lovely Taylor Green and myself, and we'll get you sorted out with that one as well. But as always guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you for the next video. Bye everyone.